2025 was another great year for me riding roller coasters, but similarly to 2024, it didn't go exactly as planned, but it was still pretty good. Hopefully, this plan is a little more secure. I say plan because this is going to be one single road trip. By nature, it's either all going to happen or not going to happen at all, and I want it to happen. When I thought of the idea for this trip, I wanted to make it happen the week after a major holiday to give myself the best chance to avoid crowds. I first landed on the week after Memorial Day, but deep down, I didn't like it because it's too soon after my school year ends, and I don't feel it's a major enough holiday to affect crowds a lot. That's when I landed on the week after Independence Day. There are three reasons this timing is much better for me. Firstly, it's much later into the summer, but not too late to the point where I'll have to go back to college right after it's over. Secondly, the holiday is on a Saturday, where people will likely finish their vacations on that day and be home the week after. Finally, that day happens to be the 250th birthday of the United States, and I have a strong feeling that the celebrations are going to be out of this world, which I believe will have an even stronger effect on the attendance numbers at the parks, both on the week before and the week after. The week before being more busy, and the week after being more quiet. Now, onto the trip itself. I will pull a move similar to the one I did for the parks further away last year. I will pull an all-nighter on the 4th of July so I can get to bed early and get sufficient sleep on the 5th to get to Cedar Point, the first park I'm visiting on this trip, on the 6th. In order for me to determine the time I have to wake up, I had to consider a few factors. Cedar Point is about an 11 to 12 hour drive away from where I live, and it will likely open at 10 a.m. However, I will want to experience early entry, so I had to push it back an hour. Then, there's the time zone change, so that's another hour earlier. I also had to account for some traffic and getting gas, so I had to push it back even further. And now, I'm leaning on leaving at 6 p.m. on July 5th. When I get to Cedar Point, I will spend time at the park as normal, and then I will check into the Cedar Point Express Hotel at around 4 p.m. After that, I will go back to the park as normal for the rest of the day. On a side note, this is the only hotel I've already booked so far as of making this video. I initially booked it for last year, but since college plans got in the way, I had to move it to this year. So at the absolute minimum, it will just be Cedar Point for this trip. The next day, I will check out of the hotel when I wake up. By the way, just assume that from now on, I'm going to eat the complimentary breakfast if the hotel has it. After I check out, I will spend a few more hours at Cedar Point and leave sometime in the middle of the day to go to Cincinnati for Kings Island. Maybe when I'm in Columbus, I might hit the zoo up for their wooden coaster. Don't count on it though. Before I actually go to the park, I will check into my next hotel room for 2 nights. Since I won't be traveling the next day, this is the day I want to get a night ride on the Beast. Other than that, it will just be a standard half-day visit to a park. The next day will be the most simple of all of the days during this trip. I will wake up, go to Kings Island for the day, and come back to the hotel in the evening. Since this park is pretty big, and I'm visiting it for the first time, I want to minimize my chances of needing a fast lane to ride every roller coaster. And that's why I'm going there for a day and a half. I've heard this park has really good operations, but I don't want to take any chances. On Thursday, I'll check out of the hotel when I wake up and depart for Louisville for Kentucky Kingdom. This will be another 2-park day, so I'll only be there until 3 or 4 p.m. Once I'm done, I'll head further west for Holiday World. Before I actually get to the park, I'll check into the hotel, which will be in the area. After that, I'll have a normal afternoon at Holiday World. What's nice about this day is that I'll be going back to the central time zone, and therefore will get an extra hour of the day for Holiday World. Like most of the previous days, I'll check out of my hotel room when I wake up on Friday. I will then depart for Six Flags St. Louis. I will spend a few hours at the park before I check into my next hotel. Once I've checked in, I'll go back to the park for the rest of the day. The next day, Saturday, will be the most complicated and last day of the trip. On this day, I will have to wake up really early and check out when I wake up to head to Madison, Wisconsin for Little America. Like I said last year, this is a small enough park to the point where I believe I could get everything I want done within an hour. After Little America, I will travel to the southwest for Lost Island. I will likely spend the rest of the day there. Once the park closes, I will just head home. It's about 3 hours of a drive away from Lost Island. That's the end of my one plan for roller coasters this year. If the video was a little confusing, here's a short timeline of the days and the parks I'm visiting on those days. With that over with, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.